Hello students. In first lesson, that is typical configuration of computer system. Our next topic is component of motherboard, that is processor, BIOS, CMOS, slot, disk, controller, IO port and interface and bus. Okay, in processor we have a CPU, that is ALU, arithmetic logic unit, control unit and register. Next is BIOS. Let us see what is BIOS. A BIOS, the full form is C, basic input output system. Okay, a set of computer instruction which control IO operation. BIOS runs when the computer is switched on. It check if hardware devices are present and functioning properly. BIOS include the bootstrap loader to load the operating system into a memory. What means the BIOS is nothing but it is used to start up the computer. Okay, the BIOS is used to start up the computer. When we switch on the computer, a CPU act as a BIOS and to locate all the input and output devices, and also it check all the hardware devices are functioning properly. Okay na, the BIOS annadu adondu startup function. Startup function means starting the computer. And when you switch on the computer, you switch on ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ CPU act as an BIOS to locate the IO operation. Okay, it is a set of program. Okay, program running the computer. Okay, na bootstrap booting ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, so that is a BIOS. Okay, next we have a CMOS. CMOS is complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Okay, what is CMOS? It is a type of memory chip to store the time and date and system startup parameter. It is used to set a time and date. When you start up the computer, you may have seen the time and date. See, this is the CMOS, this battery like structure. This is a CMOS. Okay na, it is used to store the date and time in our system. Okay, next we have a slot. What is slot? A slot is an open space in computer where we can insert a printed circuit board. Okay, so there are 7 types of slot. That is a ISA, industry standard architecture, PCI, peripheral component and interconnection, AGP, that is accurate graphic port, RAM slot and processor slot. In RAM slot we have SIMM, that is single inline memory module, and dual inline memory module. Okay, so what is the work of ISA? It is used to connect modem and input devices. Okay, ISA is used to connect modem and input devices, and PCI means it is used to connect the graphical accumulator and sound card. It is used to connect graphic accumulator and sound card. AGP, it is AGP is used to it provide the faster access to the graphical card and improve visual expenses of a user. Means when for gaming purposes we use the AGP. RAM slot. So we have in RAM slot where the RAM is connected. These are the slots. See, these are the slot, PCI slots where extra sound you can connect here. This is a RAM slot. Okay, these are the slots. Next we have a disk controller. Disk controller. After slot we have a next we have a process slot also. Next disk controller. A disk controller, a device that connect a disk devices to the computer bus, enabling the devices to exchange data with the other devices. We have 2 types of disk controller, that is hard disk controller and floppy disk controller. Disk controller, it what hard disk controller, it is a interface between the computer and the hardware drive to read and write the information, and the floppy disk controller, it is the interface within the control to reading and writing on the floppy disk. These two are the, see here, floppy disk slot and hard disk slot. These are the 2 types of disk controller. Okay na, this controller. Next we have IO port and interface. A port is a socket on the computer used to connect the external devices. Port, okay, it is a socket on the computer used to connect the external devices. See, these are the ports where you can see the green color to connect the mouse, keyboard, and parallel port is used to connect the scanner or the printer, and serial port for a modem. Monitor, you can connect the monitor. See here, USB means universal serial bus, where USB cable is connected, and also we can connect the mouse, keyboard, and speaker port. These are the ports. Okay, next, this is about port. Last we have a bus. A bus is a collection of parallel wire that forms a pathway to carry address and data and control signal. Okay, we have three types of bus, that is data bus, address bus, and control bus. Thank you.